Okay, I'm going to attempt to launch the Space Shuttle Atlantis, and this is using the default Space Shuttle that comes with Orbiter. This is not the Space Shuttle fleet, so I'm just going to go through and set up a couple things here real quick. I'm sort of following the STS 129 mission. This was an older mission from 2009. And the only reason I chose that one is because I have a good audio file to go along with it. So let's see here. I'm going to use Launch MFD, and the only thing I'm going to use this for is to help me get the correct launch heading. Other than that, I don't really need it. And I'm kind of using map MFD just to give me a little bit of help on the correct timing of the launch. Although according to the STS 129 data, it was at 2:28 in the afternoon that it launched, so I'll probably just go with that. And that looks like it'll be accurate according to map MFD as well. So I think I've got all my MFDs set up how I need. Let me go through and check. Orbit. Okay, that looks like what I want. Oh yeah, align plane. I'm gonna want to have that set to help me bring the relative inclination down. Okay, I think I'm all set. Let me bring up my audio file.
Space Shuttle now on internal power. Liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen fill and drain valves are closed. Solid rocket booster flight data recorders are activated. And the handoff to Atlantis' onboard computers.
Here we go.
Atlantis now in control of the countdown.
20.
Firing chain is armed. Sound suppression water system activated. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. And liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis on a mission to build, resupply, and to do research on the International Space Station.
So I need to bring the heading around to 42 degrees.
An ultimate journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now in the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit, 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the international outpost. 30 seconds into the flight, Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour.
This is not going so well.
3 liquid fuel main engines now throttling back to 72% of rated performance, going into the bucket, reducing the stress on the shuttle as it breaks through the sound barrier. 55 seconds into the flight, all systems operating normally, 900 miles an hour. The speed of Atlantis right now, 6 miles in altitude, 9 miles downrange.
Atlantis, go with throttle up. Copy, go with throttle up.
Throttle up call acknowledged by Commander Charlie Hobaugh, joined on the flight deck by pilot Butch Wilmore, flight engineer Randy Bresnick, and Leland Melvin. Seated down on the mid-deck are Mike Foreman and Bobby Satcher, kicking off their work week with a Monday commute to orbit. 1 minute 30 seconds into the flight, Atlantis 13 miles in altitude, 15 miles downrange, traveling almost 2,000 miles an hour.
is pretty much a total failure.
Control reports that the orbital maneuvering system engines have ignited.
I needed to be pitched over a long time ago.
Atlantis flying with the singular power of its 3 liquid fuel main engines, draining about a half a ton of fuel per second from the large fuel tank. Coming up on the 3-minute mark into the flight, Atlantis 46 miles in altitude, 81 miles downrange, traveling almost 4,000 miles an hour. Atlantis speeding straight.
Yeah, we're not even close to 4,000 miles an hour.
Space Station Wednesday morning. Three and a half minutes into the flight, all of Atlantis' systems functioning by the book. 55 miles in altitude, 120 miles downrange, traveling almost 5,000 miles an hour.
I don't even know if I'm going to make orbit.
Atlantis, negative return. Atlantis, copy, negative return.
Atlantis now too far downrange, too high in altitude to return to the launch site in the event of an engine failure. All 3 engines performing perfectly. 4 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. Atlantis now 62 miles in altitude, 180 miles downrange, traveling almost 6,000 miles an hour. All systems performing normally. Atlantis on course, on track for its preliminary orbit. The Environmental Systems Officer reports a good flash evaporator system activated for Atlantis, providing cooling for the shuttle's avionics until the payload bay doors are open about an hour and a half into the flight.
I'm trying to bring down my relative inclination, so I was adjusting the heading there a little bit. But at this point, I don't even think I'm going to make orbit.
Atlantis, press the ATO.
I'm going to run out of fuel before I make it.
Press the ATO.
My launch profile was just all screwed up.
Orbital altitude targets in the event of an engine failure. However, all 3 engines continue to perform normally, as do the auxiliary power units and the 3 power-producing fuel cells. 5.5 minutes into the flight, Atlantis now 67 miles in altitude, 312 miles downrange, traveling almost 8,000 miles an hour.
Safer, single engine opportunity.
Looks like the relative inclination is as low as it's going to get. So we're just going to kind of hold this heading.
Roll to a heads-up position, the main engine swiveling, enabling the shuttle to move to a heads-up position above its fuel tank, gaining more favorable communications to the tracking and data relay satellite system as it heads uphill.
Rolling over.
Atlantis, press the MECO. Single engine 0 goes to 104. Press the MECO. Single engine 0 goes to 104.
That call from Capcom Chris Ferguson to Commander Charlie Hobaugh indicating that Atlantis can make normal orbital cutoff targets in the event of an engine failure.
But to pitch up a little bit to keep the apoapsis from getting behind us.
Now 6 minutes 45 seconds into the flight. Atlantis 66 miles in altitude, almost 500 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, traveling almost 11,000 miles an hour. 90 seconds left in powered flight.
I've still got to gain another 3,500 meters per second, and I don't have the fuel to do it. I'm not going to make orbit.
Coming up on the 7.5 minute mark into the flight, the main engines will once again be throttled down to limit the stress on the shuttle and its 6 crew members to that of 3 times the effective gravity. Atlantis approaching the speed of more than 4 miles a second. At the time of main engine cutoff a minute from now, Atlantis will enter its preliminary orbit at a speed of 5 miles a second.
The reason I'm pitching up so much at this point is because apoapsis is behind me,
7 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight.
and I need it to be in front of me.
Atlantis providing a smooth ride uphill for Commander Charlie Hobaugh and his crew. 700 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, traveling 15,000 miles an hour.
Go according to the audio file, but I've still got quite a ways to go.
Standing by for main engine cutoff.
Definitely not gonna meet cutoff according to the audio file.
Cutoff confirmed by the booster officer. Standing by for external tank separation.
Yeah, I've still got another 1,500 kilometers per second, or 1,500 meters per second to go, and I still need to get apoapsis in front of me. It's coming up. It's almost there. Alright, apoapsis is now in front of me.
Bird's eye view from the external tank camera of external tank separation.
So I can bring the pitch down now.
Preliminary orbit. Commander Charlie Hobaugh will now maneuver Atlantis so that cameras embedded in the shuttle's umbilical well can perform photography of the discarded external fuel tank.
I might actually make orbit after all.
Are about to use digital still and video cameras to capture handheld imagery of the tank for downlink a few hours from now. A flawless
I made it, yay!
from Shuttle Atlantis and its 6 crew members en route now to the International Space Station.
Unbelievable. I didn't think I'd make it. So I'm going to separate, well, actually the fuel tank separates automatically when it runs out. Now I'm going to use translation thrusters to get myself up away from it a little bit. Just putting some more distance between me and the fuel tank. And the way the space shuttle usually works is that it will roll over and take pictures of the external tank after launch. I'm not going to do that. Coming up on apoapsis too soon. I need to be in the prograde position to circularize my orbit the rest of the way. Apoapsis in 100 seconds. And right now my periapsis is 11 kilometers. I need it to be over 150 kilometers. But I'm going to just make it circular with apoapsis. So basically I'll bring periapsis up to 247 kilometers. Relative inclination isn't too bad, 1.79 degrees. It really should be lower than that for the space shuttle because the engines are so weak it's hard to make corrections. I'm sort of following the STS 129 mission. This was an older mission from 2009. And the only reason I chose that one is because I have a good audio file to go along with it. So let's see here. Timing of the launch. Although according to the STS 129 data, it was at 2:28 in the afternoon that it launched, so I'll probably just go with that. And that looks like it'll be accurate according to okay, I'm going to attempt to launch the Space Shuttle Atlantis, and this is using the default space shuttle that comes with orbiter. This is not the space shuttle fleet, so I'm just going to go through and set up a couple things here real quick. And I'm kind of using map MFD just to give me a little bit of help on the correct. I use launch MFD, and the only thing I'm going to use this for is to help me get the correct launch heading. Other than that, I don't really need it.